I always think when we hear about this increased debt of how challenging this debt load will be for not just my children, but also those who are just starting to enter the workforce, looking towards their career, potentially looking to buy a home. When you hear that Canada has hit a $1 trillion debt, what do you make of this as a young person?
I mean, I think towards the future for myself, I'm already teaching. I have my career. I'm in university, but I think not only for myself and the people in my generation, but also potential children that I have, my grandchildren, that type of thing. Most people are not thinking about the fact that here in Canada we have exceeded $1 trillion debt, just like you said, and it's very disconcerting if you look at the debt clock from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation to see it's ticking and changing every second. We're accruing more debt here in Canada. And even last year, our Canadian government had a deficit exceeding $381 billion. And that's just kind of mind-boggling because it's either going to we're either going to pay it off through increased taxation like we're seeing, or printing money. And both things are very detrimental to our economy.
And so do you get the sense, I mean, obviously you are on a university campus or you engage maybe more virtually these days, but you speak to young people. Are people, do they have qualms about what lays ahead?
I would say for my social group, which tends to be more conservative people of my age, we're very conscious of that. But I would say like my average classmates at school, they're more concerned about, I guess you would say, instant gratification. So free tuition now, cancellation of student debt now, all that type of thing. And that's the just way to to form a society and to think about our futures. But it's always what I want now instead of how is it going to affect our future. Because as soon as you start canceling student debt and stuff like that, it's just going to increase our national debt, and we're seeing increased taxes and all these things that are going to make life very difficult for us as we graduate.
That's true. And usually until you start paying taxes, which is usually after you graduate university
Yes.
or college or enter the workforce, it doesn't really hit you. Well, there is one tax that's coming our way that I think would hit your generation perhaps more disproportionately than mine. It's the Netflix tax. So there's a new tax coming, which will be a fee levied basically to Netflix, but they're going to pass it on to the consumers. So now the average subscriber will be paying more for their Netflix. Do you think that will be enough to, raise some eyebrows with your generation?
That'll be interesting. I mean, I personally don't watch Netflix, and I think that the less people that watch Netflix, probably the better off we'll be as a society. But still, I mean, seeing increased taxation on everything all across the board is just going to make life more difficult and make things more expensive. And even like with the increased carbon tax that we're seeing, not only is it going to affect us, filling up with gas at the gas station, it's going to affect the cost of everything because it affects transportation fees, it affects, restaurants, getting the goods that we use. Nobody can escape except rich elites and, the very, very low class from these taxes. It slaughters the middle class and it makes it very hard to succeed in society.
Right. That sounds very challenging. Let's talk about spending habits. Recently, our Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland, suggested that, I think she was looking for Canadians to encourage them to spend more. Do you find with your peers that you have restrained on spending and saved up more money during COVID, or are you spending more now?
Well, I mean, for myself, I tend to be a very frugal person, but generally speaking, I know personally people my age, including cousins of mine and other people that I know who received CERB money. And for some people, they saved it. Other people, it was just like, kind of a spending spree opportunity. It depends on each individual person, but I would say from it's only fiscal conservative people my age who are concerned about actually saving money for the future instead of just spending. And you can't spend your way into you can't spend your way into success. You can't spend your way out of debt. You have to save money and you have to work hard in order to be able to succeed in society.
Okay, well, Hanna, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your opinions. I wish you all the very best and to your peers as well.
Thank you.